This week some of us are going to be talking about a book that we read called I Am the Messenger. So if you want to read this book sometime in the future, these are going to be sort of spoilery, but if you don't plan on reading this ever, I don't see why you shouldn't watch these videos. The book starts out with the protagonist Ed Kennedy and his friends inside of a bank while the bank is being held up. The bank robber is scared off by police sirens, and so Ed chases after him and picks up the gun that he dropped and starts firing shots at him. After the bank robber has been put in prison and the trial is over, Ed Kennedy starts receiving aces. Ed Kennedy is the epitome of ordinary, but he just happens to find himself in an extraordinary situation. He's just a nobody cab driver who plays cards with his friends on the weekends. But Ed Kennedy starts receiving these aces in the mail, and on the aces there are 3 addresses or hints or anything that leads him to a certain person, and he has to figure out a way to deliver a message. Some of the messages that Ed has to do is as simple as just giving an ice cream cone to an exhausted mother or just giving Christmas lights to a poor family. But some are a lot harder, like beating up a kid so his brother will show his love to him and stop fighting, or attempting to murder a drunken rapist. The book is beautifully written, and the author puts a bunch of genius nuggets all throughout the book. It says here, "The breeze looks away, almost embarrassed at having watched, and I'm left there standing alone." That happens to me quite a lot, where nature is just embarrassed of my existence. Also, when talking about a teenage deadbeat, he compares his eyes to the color of fresh toilet water. Ed also has a dog called the Doorman, and I think the Doorman is just used to show how generous Ed actually is even before the whole ace thing happens. He's constantly giving the dog the best parts of the food, and he's always sharing his coffee with the dog. He treats the dog better than a lot of people treat most people. The aces start to control Ed's life, and he becomes consumed with helping others instead of just merely existing. Ed finds this out himself when the girl that he loves, but also the girl that's too afraid to love him, comes to his house and tells him how much he's changed. Now you're somebody, Ed. I don't know everything about what you've done and what you've been through, but I don't know. You seem further away now. She concludes, "You're better." My favorite message is probably the one for Lua and his family. The whole family just reminds me so much of Shay Carl and his family. But after Ed delivers the message, he sees this. Lua kisses her, and she kisses back. Sometimes people are beautiful, not in looks, not in what they say, just in what they are. I love it when authors like Markus Zusak and John Green put awesome quotes like that in their books. The reason I love this book so much is because it encourages us to be actively seeking out how to help one another. Not just when we're confronted with other people's adversities, like when we see someone that's homeless on the street, but going out of our ways to find people that need help and help them. To have good in your life, you need to be able to affect other people positively. Ed has shown this when he's thinking about funerals. I want words at my funeral, but I guess that means you need life in your life. The last 3 messages that Ed has to deliver are to his closest friends. That's when the book not only becomes about Ed becoming somebody, but also Ed showing others and how they can become somebody. If a guy like you can stand up and do what you did, then maybe everyone can. Maybe everyone can live beyond what they're capable of. And that's when I realize, in a sweet, cruel, beautiful moment of clarity, I smile. Watch a crack in the cement and speak to Audrey and the sleeping doorman. I tell them what I'm telling you. I'm not the messenger at all. I'm the message. Becky, I'll see you tomorrow.